House to Tree. I'm Charlotte Clary, and with me today is Joann Wittler with Mother to Many Skate Park Outreach. So Joann, tell us, what is that?
Well, we are a skate park outreach, and what we do is we go to local skate parks in Pierce and Thurston County, and we set up tables and we feed youth. A bunch of youth, lots of youth.
Okay, so how did you ever get this first little seed of thought to go help these kids?
Well, first of all, people will talk about how God starts birthing something in them, and that's exactly what he started to do with me, is birth something in me. So then what I did is I did a fast, because I wanted to hear directly from God, because I knew he had something for me. And the first thing I heard is that you will be the mother to many. So that's how we got our name. And then a week later, so not everything came all at once, then he said, you will help homeless youth. So,
That's a big undertaking.
Yeah, so it was kind of crazy, because I was going, what do you want us to do, God? Am I supposed to house kids, or what am I supposed to do? And so it took a while, but God finally showed us.
So how did you end up at a skate park?
Well, it's cool how God all of a sudden brings people into your lives. And one of the ladies that God brought into our lives, her name was Pat, and she works in Burien. And so I don't want to share too much because it's in my book. But she planted that seed about skate parks. She says that's where you can meet kids that are usually not in good home situations, and that's, they'll come and take some granola bars, some music, and they'll just kind of gravitate. But we kind of got sidetracked from that.
Oh.
So that's, you have people that always want to give you advice.
Oh, yes.
And so then we got a little sidetracked, but it was an okay sidetrack, because God used that sidetrack to build relationships with people we wouldn't have met otherwise.
I think it's interesting that God gave you an idea, but an outside person propelled that idea along, and
Yes.
You didn't have to think that you were responsible for the whole idea.
Right.
Smart. That was wisdom.
Yeah.
So what do you believe is one of the missing elements with kids these days?
I think it's parents that are present. I really think, nowadays, as Charlotte, when you and I were growing up, there was always, our moms usually stayed home.
Mm-hmm.
And so we always had a parent that was always there. And so now both parents have to work. They come home, they're tired. They don't want to deal with anything else. And so a lot of the kids, what they love, and what I hear from each one of them that gave us feedback, is that they love that we ask how their day was. What are they doing?
Oh, take note, parents.
Yeah, big, huge thing. I mean, they love that we just want to know how they're doing, and we're genuine. They know that kids know they're smart, so they know if you're not genuine in the way that you act.
Now, Joann, I know that when I've talked to you before, you mentioned homeless kids.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean necessarily that they don't have a bed to go to. Would you explain that?
So pretty much the kids that we see, because when God said homeless youth, homeless teens, it took a while for God to explain that to me. And so one day as I'm driving, I just asked God, I said, God, I know that we have helped some kids that have lived in their cars and are couch surf, but I says, but we don't help that many of them. And God goes, Joann, just because they have a home doesn't mean they're not homeless. And those are the kids that go home to no food, no parents. I talked to several of the kids that we've helped, from the past that have came forth and said, I was one of those kids that didn't have any food to go home to. Mm. So you had food, you guys were nice, you welcomed us, and we knew you were a safe place. Yeah.
That's a big undertaking.
Yeah, but it's cool.
So what was your very first event, and how did it go? And was Steve involved, your husband, at that point?
Yep. So our first event was December of 2014, and it was at Sumner Skate Park. So that is our main park. So we had a card table, and we had granola bars, juice, hats, gloves, and we had about 10 volunteers.
And how many kids did you see?
15. But then the next week we see 35. So,
wow, that grew
quick.
It
did. All of a sudden, so it was like God was saying, you are right where you're supposed to be. So that was our first part. But it's a skate park outreach. So the kids that we seen at Sumner at the very beginning were skate park kids. A lot of them were. But now it's not that way down in Sumner. It's after school kids that we see. It's not, the skate park is closed. We don't even see, there's no kids skateboard park boarding there.
Now, will that change in the summer or not?
No, yes, during the summer, we go to skate parks, and those are skate park kids that we see. So, but Sumner is just a school year park now. So, because
Makes sense.
everybody goes up to the lake, we don't see very many kids down at Sumner Skate Park.
Now, back to that first event where you had 10 volunteers and 15 kids.
Yeah.
When that day was over, I bet you were excited, though.
Yes, we were very excited because we were so well received from the kids. They were so excited. They want to know, why are you doing this? Are you going to come back? I guess the one thing that's kind of cool is there was a lady that had been down there maybe a few years before us that just was there for a short time. And the kids remembered her, so they thought we were them coming back. So she kind of started that. She was
interesting.
Yeah, trailblazer, I guess is what you call them.
Have you ever met her?
No, never did meet her. Yeah. So anyways, but
Wow.
yeah.
It'd be nice if she knew that you were doing this. Maybe she does.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay, so your thoughts after that first one. What did you go home and talk about or think about?
Oh gosh, so that's been 8 years ago. So I think we just try to figure out, okay, what days are we going to do this? We went back the next week, and then we were lucky, or should I say blessed, because the weather was good that December. So when we went back, it was nice weather. So we went, okay, God, so now what are we going to do? Because we're in Washington and it rains. And so one of my friends sent us a $500 donation, which was our biggest, and we went and bought canopies. So we bought a canopy,
wow. Okay,
got a
that's
bigger
big.
table, yes. And so then we could tell the kids, it doesn't matter if it rains, we'll be here. So, and we started one day a week at Sumner. And then, of course, God didn't stop there. So, yeah. We definitely knew we were doing what we were supposed to because he blossomed us real fast.
Amazing. Now then, you turned this into an actual nonprofit. When did that happen?
We became a nonprofit in August of 2014.
All right.
501c3. Yeah.
How does your nonprofit support itself now?
So pretty much we don't apply for very many grants. So we have Quorum for Kids helps us every year. So that's
What was that one again?
Quorum for Kids.
Okay.
Yeah. So Quorum is the car dealership in Puyallup.
Oh,
it's
yes.
a big one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So they have a foundation called Quorum for Kids, and they have supported us for probably 6 years. They send us a grant each year, and then.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Need a car, go see Cora.
I know, yeah. and it's really cool because we have had a few smaller grants, but we're mainly supported by private donations. So, which is good because a lot of times with grants, they want to say, no, you can't share about Jesus, or no, you can't do this. And even though we're faith-based, we don't preach to the kids. We just love the kids right where they're at. They know that we're Christians.
That's the preach right there.
Exactly. Yeah, so they know. But this way, Quorum doesn't care what we do. So if we get a chance to talk to the kids about God, we let them open that door, and then we go
And they
right
will.
in. They do many times.
It's fine.
Yeah.
So I'll mention it now that we'll put a description in the description box. We'll put the name and address of how you can donate to Mother to Many, and we'll talk about that a little bit again later. So how would you compare your first outreach to your current outreach?
Oh, wow. Okay. So we were at Sumner just one day a week. And like I said, the very first time, 15. Now we go to Sumner 2 days a week, and we feed over 400 kids a week at Sumner Skate Park.
Okay. 15 to 400.
Yeah.
That's kind of baffling.
Yeah.
So I'm going to guess that you have a truck or something that you take.
Yes, we have a truck, and we have a 16-foot trailer. The 16-foot trailer was donated to us, and that was a total God thing. I mean, it was amazing how that all worked. And we have a big, huge sun on it, and the sun represents Jesus. And so, and then we have our mission statement and our scripture of Matthew 25, 35 through 40 on there.
All
So,
those
yeah.
kids are seeing that.
Yes, they do. They see everything. So that's the one thing. That's, like I said, we don't have to preach. They know who we are.
Yeah, and if necessary, use words.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And of course, yeah, since that first outreach, we help, we help Buckley, we help Skate Park, their youth center during the summer, Allen York and Bonnie Lake, we go to them during the summer, Puyallups during the summer, Eatonville's during the summer, Yelms during the spring, summer, and then we help Bethel School District, the Haven, White River with their backpack. Yeah.
Ooh, she's wearing me out here.
So yeah, so God definitely has, grown us. When you go into the right direction, God will open the floodgates, and it just keeps on, we help a lot. Yeah.
Now, do you go to each one of those, or do you have sometimes teams that go because you're doubled up and you can't go?
So the only park that we don't go to is Puyallup. I have a team of ladies that when we had, before COVID, we were going to so many parks, I couldn't, and we moved out to Roy, we couldn't do all those parks. And so we have a group of ladies that have been doing that, and they've been doing that for like 5 years. So that's their park. And
wow.
So, yeah, so they get to love on the kids. And
so you have some faithful workers.
Oh, yeah. We've had volunteers that have been with us from the very beginning, and we have new ones all the time. So we'll have ones that move or just there for a season. Yeah.
And you have to trust the process.
Yes, exactly.
Who comes and who goes for how long. And...
Yeah. No, it's cool. God is amazing.
Well, we're going to shift gears here and say you recently published your first book.
Yeah.
And it's called A Woman's Journey to Become Mother to Many. Tell us about that, you new author.
Yeah, I know, yeah. So anyways, so pretty much the book is, like it says, journey to becoming mother to many. It's my life from the very beginning, how God has showed me how he was getting me ready for this time. And even though I didn't start Mother to Many until I was 53, God said this is just the right time. And with kids, with the youth that we serve, sometimes parent figures are the ones that they are trying to get away from. So we're all older, we're all seasoned, and so we're more like grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
So
not as threatening.
Yes, and who doesn't love grandparents? You loved your grandma or your grandpa if you had if they were in your lives, and so these kids, yeah, they've always been so respectful to us, always thanking us, always super nice. I know, and people go, kids are, and I even thought that way. I thought, God, you want me to work with teens? Oh my God. I raised 4 of them, I know how they are. I don't want to. So anyways, but once we started working with them, it's totally different. So, I mean, I can't say enough good things about kids. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's unusual in these days too, right? Okay, I want to go over a couple little things here. With Joann's book, she's having a book signing event Saturday, April 1st at the Cupbearer Cafe and Coffee Shop in McKenna, Washington from 11 to 1. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right.
Yeah.
So come on out there. Again, in the description, we will put the address of the Cupbearer, or you can look it up on your phone. But bring a friend you'll wish you had.
Okay.
It's a sweet little coffee shop owned by another Christian gal, and she even serves hard ice cream there.
Ice cream.
So come out and have some coffee and some ice cream. And enjoy the day. All right, let's see here. I'm checking my notes, okay. Now, how's Steve with all this?
He's great. So Steve's been alongside me from the very beginning. So, he was so sweet at the very beginning when I told him that God was calling us into something. He says, okay, if God's, and I quit my job. So I quit my job, not because we could, but because God wanted me to have faith just to believe. And God has been faithful. We've never been late or anything. But he told me he'd be a greeter at Walmart if he had to. So because Stephen had just retired, was in the process of retiring, just retired, yeah. And so we were expecting me to keep on working for a while yet. And so that's
surprise.
Yeah, surprise. Yeah. So anyways, but God's been good and God's been faithful about everything. So but yeah, so he's like he always says, he's always driving me. He's my driver, but Stephen's much more. He's my support. He knocks me in the head when I need to get it. And he he's been helping me because we got Chick-fil-A, so we're able to give the kids Chick-fil-A. So he helps me bag up everything and get everything all taken
Now, which
care of.
Chick-fil-A is that?
Bonnie
supporting
Lake.
You?
Yeah, Bonnie Lake. So at the time
Wow.
when I registered for this one food distribution place, we were living in Bonnie Lake. So of course, Bonnie Lake Chick-fil-A is right down the street from us. But it's okay because we go there right before we go to Sumner.
Now,
Yeah.
I saw a picture of stacks and stacks of food somewhere that you give out.
Oh, yeah.
So those are the kind of pictures we're going to want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we get lots of food from Puyallup Food Bank, Sumner Food Bank, and then from private donors. I mean, we'll have people stop and all of a sudden here they have a whole bunch of food to donate to us for the kids. All the bad stuff that kids like. And you might think, oh my goodness, but a lot of these kids don't even get some of that stuff, and they get one of each. It isn't like they can take 20 Hostess
Right.
or anything like that.
Yeah.
So
Huh.
yeah, we just want to love the kids.
Well, Joann, we're really excited for you and your team, and we'll check back
Okay.
and see what else you have happening.
Okay. I appreciate it, Charlotte. Thank you for having me.
This has been fun. And again, when we close this video, go check the description box for how to donate to Mother to Mary Ministries. Mother to Mary?
That's okay. I have so
Mother
many-
to Many Ministries.
I've had lots of people do that.
We're gonna leave this blooper in here. And then I'll also put the address to the Cupbearer for this Saturday.
Oh, April 1st.
April 1st.
Yep.
Well, things happen so fast.
No, March is almost over.
April 1st, Saturday after this coming
Right.
one.
Yeah.
Depending on when you see this video.
No, yeah. So funny.
Well, thank you for joining us at the Mustard Tree. If you like this video, like it and subscribe, so we'll be putting out more inspirational stories every once in a while. I don't have a schedule yet, but stay tuned. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Little mustard seed, scarcely to be seen, easy to be lost, hard to be